Ladies and gentlemen, I am interrupting this video to point out that we have a rare sighting of the mysterious and seldom found feline pillbug.
The Adventures of Irvingman!
Yes, it's Irvingman, strange visitor from California who came to Tacoma with powers and abilities far beyond ordinary YouTubers. Irvingman, who can change the most innocuous statement into a dumb joke, still lives in his childhood with his old TV shows, and who, disguised as Irving J. Funkelmeyer, fights a never-ending battle for laughter, music, and ad revenue. Even with the music stinger, that wasn't much of a jump scare. It's easy to see they're bad guys. What are they up to?
Calling car 6, corner of Elm and Brighton. This is a 132. Car 6, Elm and Brighton, code 132.
They have a police scanner. I believe those were illegal at the time, which makes me wonder how they got their hands on one.
This is an emergency. Repeat, emergency. Warehouse fire, 1800 Waterfront Way. All cars in Zone 4 proceed to warehouse fire, 1800 Waterfront Way. This is an emergency. Repeat.
I don't get it. Did they set the fire or what? What? It's nighttime at the fire, daytime at the Planet Building, and what does one have to do with the other? And who are those two guys?
What? The Planet Warehouse? When? Great Caesar's ghost!
What is it, Chief?
The Planet Warehouse is on fire. I've got to get over there right away. Where's Kent?
We don't know. He left.
I'll leave a note for him. He'll have to take over here when he gets back.
Can we come too?
Yes, nothing could make it any worse.
Jeepers, I haven't seen a good fire in a long time.
Well, in that case, Olson, we let it burn to the ground, even though we do have $100,000 worth of newsprint in there.
There's also a $12,000 payroll in the safe. So now we know what the fire and the planet have to do with each other. What about those two guys? That's them in the food truck. They call themselves Fireman's Friend. They come to these fires and give coffee and donuts to the firefighters.
Oh, well, how about a cup of coffee, Chief?
You know I never drink coffee.
Pardon me. We're from the Daily Planet. It's our editor, Mr. White, over there. We were wondering about this Fireman's Friend business.
Just what it says, buddy. Me and my pal serve free coffee and sinkers to the firemen. It's a hobby.
He says the firemen really appreciate it. They even gave us permission to have a shortwave scanner in our vehicles so we know where to be to support them. So that answers my question.
Hot idea, huh? Get it? Hot idea.
Sure, I get it.
If you have to ask if they get it, it's not a good joke. He has 1 million of those, each one a little worse than the last one. He's gotten a new tray from the other guy, and now he's inside, right in the middle of the fire. That's a new type of flameproof suit that his partner developed. You may have noticed in the opening scene that he was also wearing a hearing aid. It's a souped-up one that helps him hear the tumblers on the safe Perry was worried about. By the time Superman arrives and puts out the fire, the money in the safe is just gone.
Unfortunately, there's a little matter of a missing payroll.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, yesterday, just a few hours before the fire started, a guard and I personally delivered a $12,000 payroll in the company safe. A guard was posted. When the fire started, naturally, he fled. After the fire, the payroll was gone.
Since the fire was way too hot for the average asbestos suit, yes, it was everywhere. Humans had been using it since the Stone Age, and it wasn't until the 70s that we started realizing how dangerous it is. Anyway, that means there's only one explanation. It was never in the safe. Those guys watched him put an empty briefcase in it. He kept the money for himself and set the fire to cover his tracks. If he tries to file an insurance claim for the warehouse and or the payroll, he could be railroaded into jail.
Chief, where are you going to start?
Any place. Engine Company 10, probably. I want to talk to anybody who has seen anything unusual.
All right, I'll go with you.
No, you won't. Somebody has to hold down that desk.
But, Chief,
Now, just a minute. That's final. Now, someone or something got me into this, and I'd like to be the one to find out personally who or what it was. I'll check with you every half hour in case you need me.
I think DC missed a great opportunity. They had comics for Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. Why not Superman's boss, Perry White, the only person in the world who can give Superman orders and make them stick? His first stop, the fireman's friend, guys.
I want you to think. Think very carefully of anything you saw, no matter how unimportant it may seem. I saw a dog run by. I remember thinking he might become a hot dog. Hot dog.
I'm afraid Mr. White isn't interested in humor at the moment.
They're no help, so Perry thanks them and heads out.
Something wrong, Mr. White? Yes. I distinctly remember you wearing a hearing aid yesterday. Oh, well, yeah.
Well, he's an excellent lip reader, Mr. White.
I see. Well, wait a minute. I was pacing around the room, looking out the window. He couldn't have been reading my lips.
He was watching your reflection in the window.
Just a minute, but...
Well, you see, he needs it mostly out of doors. All the outside noises, you know.
Oh, yeah, well, I guess that's possible. Well, thanks anyway.
To be honest, I could use one like that myself. If you're next to me and there's background noise, you do well to text me because there's a good chance I can't hear you. In-ear hearing aids were rare if they existed at all during this time. The most common ones looked like a little transistor radio with an earplug. If you needed to speak closely, you wanted to talk to about here. And if a person with such a hearing aid needed to use the phone, they had to hold it upside down so the receiver end was over the hearing aid's microphone. The first time I saw someone do that, it was all I could do to keep from laughing. I was also 15, so self-control wasn't exactly my strong suit.
The fireman's friend. The more I think about it...
The more he thinks about it, the more he wants to trespass on their property and taint any evidence he might find. Such as that. It is now inadmissible in court. Not that they want to give him a chance to get it to court. Slim has an idea for getting rid of him, but he doesn't want to tell us what it is. As if we'd snitch. Back at the planet, Clark got so bogged down in work he didn't notice that it's been 2 hours and Perry hasn't called yet.
Unless he was too successful.
What do you mean, too successful?
Well, he may have learned more than he was supposed to.
I think you're right, Lois. Whoever's behind all this is obviously very clever and probably equally dangerous.
Where are you going?
Try and pick up his trail.
You know in his own head, Clark is going to be taking credit for thinking that Perry might be in trouble. He's at the fire station talking to the chief when another alarm comes in. Another warehouse fire. Fireman's friend heard it over the radio.
I thought you might be here, whoever you are.
Hold it, Superman, or you'll never see Mr. White again.
He says, I propose a deal. You let me walk out of here, clear out of the building, and I'll phone the planet and tell him where to find Mr. White. Superman agrees.
Let me warn you about something. If anything happens to Mr. White...
I give you my word, Superman. He's in the safest surroundings possible.
And now we know where he is, but it's going to take Superman a lot longer to figure out our man's little pun.
Oh, give me another pot of coffee. Those firemen need it. Excuse me, gentlemen. I'd like to talk to you.
I'm sorry, mister. We're pretty busy.
I know, but this is rather important. You see, I'm from the Daily Planet.
Yeah, that Mr. White, the editor, was around last night at that other fire.
You mean you actually saw him there?
Well, Sure, I served him some coffee. That's how I remember.
It's too bad Lois or Jimmy wasn't with him. They would have caught that mistake, but Clark wasn't there when Perry said he never drinks coffee, which means he's worked for Perry for how many years and didn't know that?
Nobody's seen him, except the fireman's friends. They remember serving him a cup of coffee last night.
I wonder what could have happened. Mr. Kent, the chief doesn't drink coffee.
That's right, Clark. So he couldn't have had any last night.
Maybe they thought he did in the confusion. Why don't you kids go on home? I'll give you a ring if anything turns up.
I think Clark's the one who needs to go home and rest. He's way off his game if he brushed that off.
Well, if he came here, I'm sure he would have talk to me, and he didn't.
He's in the safest surroundings possible. Why don't you be quiet? I'm sick of your wisecracks. You gotta admit, they always make sense.
Wisecracks. Always makes sense. Safest surroundings possible.
Cows call that ruminating. Sure enough, Superman gets there just as Perry is running out of air inside his own safe.
Hurry up. We just got time to make the airport.
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Our friends know they dodged a bullet, so they're off to another town.
Superman. The pirate escape.
That's enough exercise, boys. I get around faster than you do.
Oh, no, they're not.
Oh, you don't have anything on us. No witnesses.
No, I wouldn't be too sure of that.
Well, the fireman's friends. I can't get you, but I can shut him up.
Really?
Mr. White, will you call our friends, please? The police?
With pleasure, Superman.
Not only are you going to jail, you're not allowed inside any fire lines ever again. You're barred. Get it? Barred. Hey friends, if you enjoyed the video, please click the thumbs up button and let me and YouTube know it. If you're not subscribed yet, you know what to do. And remember, you can become a patron of this channel for as little as $2 a month. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.